This is my journey to becoming a streetball legend, day 132. As always, I started my day off with Get Handles Basketball's ball and a string program, and then moved straight into my tennis ball work. So the same thing as usual, just crossovers between the legs, behind the back, tossing the tennis ball, and tossing it off the wall. It's all the normal stuff to get good and warmed up. I'm still coming off of 2 weeks of being sick and being out of the gym, so once again, my performance was a little bit below what it has been lately. But all in all, I'm not super concerned about it. I know that as I continue to practice more and get back in the gym more, that I'm going to improve steadily once again and get back to where I was. So I didn't realize that I accidentally didn't film my first 40 warm-up shots, which is just all the shots directly in front of the basket and then the 3 spots behind that. But it was probably relatively the same or a little bit lower than it normally is. And I'm also trying to get through these form shots on here faster. So that it's not just 5 minutes of form shooting and can get into some more interesting stuff in the video. So to start speeding it up, I'm just showing 3 shots at each spot and giving the makes and misses as well as the percentage just within those 3 shots. However, all in all, the form shooting felt pretty good today. It didn't feel really all that weird or just kind of funky like it did yesterday, or Tuesday rather. I've kind of noticed that if I have extended periods of time off, that coming back, it just kind of feels awkward trying to shoot a little bit, trying to get back into it, but it was starting to feel a lot better today, as well as just a lot more natural. So after I finished form shooting, I moved on to shooting at my spots in that lower mid-range area. Started with 5 warm-up shots and just kind of took them a little bit loosely so I could get some different looks and not just stagnant and standing in the same spot to take my 5 shots. After that, went into the 1 dribble pull-ups, once again putting more effort and focus on making the pull-ups very game-like and more realistic with more jab steps and quicker movements. Same thing for the runner and the floaters, except I wasn't limiting myself to one dribble on the runners and floaters. I was allowing a couple more if I needed it. I was still trying to keep it at about 2, maybe 3 max, if I was doing like some crossovers or between the legs or something, but not just a bunch of unnecessary dribbling. And after that, I repeated all the same shots on the left side. So I took 26 other shots and made 14 of them. My totals were 244 for 355 on the day, so 69%. But that is not the end of the video. So those shots were just some warm-up shots as well, some like warm-up threes, a couple of the mid-range shots, things like that. The reason I skipped some other shooting drills, like the shooting at the elbows and stuff, is because I wanted to get into more freestyle today. That's something that I used to do a lot more than I do now, and I've kind of been putting it off. One reason was my shins, the shin splints at the time, so I put it off a little bit, but I'm really trying to focus and get back into freestyle and all the street ball moves, things like that. So like with that move right there, throwing the ball off the backboard and catching it in the back of my shirt, just practicing some moves I used to do a lot and get the feel back for them. These first several moves I was doing them pretty slow. Again, I haven't done them much lately. I'm just trying to get back in the feel for it, and I do speed it up a little bit later in the video. I'll go more game speed, but just going through a couple different moves. Like, I keep failing at it, I don't know why, but I'm trying to kind of launch the ball out of the back of my shirt when I pull it up, but I was having a hard time with that for some reason. In addition to that, there's just a bunch of different dribble moves, like just some different between the legs, some hurricane dribbles, just different things, just get back into the feel for it, as well as just doing some freestyle where I'm incorporating that in with my freestyling, also focusing on getting into nutmegs, things like that, really trying to start prioritizing that cross right there more. That's something that I've been working on a lot lately, and really want to try and incorporate that into my offensive game more. So all in all, I think that the freestyle went well today. The one thing that I did kind of notice is that I need to once again put a little more emphasis on, I think, getting a little bit lower, and then just working out kind of what my offensive game is going to look like exactly. I've really gotten away from that. I used to be better at it than I am, or I have been lately. A big thing was just that I used to be a lot more loose with it. I was able to kind of have more fun. And lately, I think because of the places that I've been running games, it's a little bit more serious atmosphere and environment. And so I kind of got away from that because I was really focusing on trying to be able to just kind of hang with that level of competition. And so I just got away from it, and now I'm really working on getting back into it. And so it's going to be interesting to see kind of how it goes. And again, just finding kind of what my offensive game looks like, because up until recently I haven't even been really a shifty player. for a long time, my game was kind of centered around being more deceptive with the ball and not really all that shifty. So a lot of hesitations, a lot of pump fakes and like shot fakes, things like that. But really just all centered on a lot of different hesitation moves. And so then that was basically my whole offensive game, was just playing off of that. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I definitely want to be able to add a little bit more shiftiness to it. Just because ultimately my goal is to use streetball moves, is to use things like boomerangs and fake passes and nutmegs and putting the ball up in my shirt, doing things that aren't necessarily legal moves but are entertaining. They're fun to watch, they're fun to do, things that are just embarrass my defender, but at the same time that's not something I can do everywhere. With some of the places I play, unfortunately they're not going to let me get away with that, even though for 90% of my moves, 90% of my illegal moves, they don't actually give me any sort of advantage. But because it's an illegal move, someone's going to call that. And so that's why I want to be able to incorporate some of the shiftiness in there, because I think having a good balance of shiftiness and deceptiveness in my handles is really going to kind of help me to stand out and have a somewhat consistent game, I guess you could say, so that whether I'm able to do fun streetball moves or not, there's still this, I guess, kind of aesthetic in my game where it's either shifty or deceptive regardless of the moves I'm using.